Hey, what's up, y'all? So we're back for another video. We got some great topics. Yeah, I'm a little tired, but we're gonna get through the show. Because we have some great things that we want to talk about and some updates to get out to you guys. So let's go ahead and get into that. I have my banner up here. Hello, everyone. I see you guys are coming in. Hey, Lisa's World. Hey. What's up? What's up? Hello. What's up, y'all? I see y'all coming in. Everyone, happy Monday to everybody. Happy Monday. I see you guys coming in. Seems to be like some type of latency or something going on with StreamYard. Not sure. We see you guys coming in, but I'm not seeing y'all in my chat. Let me do a refresh. No, better not. I was going to do a refresh, but I don't know. Yeah, no. Okay, yeah, I see you guys coming in. I see y'all. Hey. Hello. We'll give you guys a couple of seconds to come in. Hello, everyone. I see we got like 33. It's climbing. Hello, everybody. Hello, everyone in the bushes as well. I see you guys. You guys are welcome to be in the bushes. That's fine. We have some great topics. Let's go ahead and get into the show, though, okay? Thank you all for being here. I hope StreamYard is acting right tonight because I'm not seeing my people coming in the chat here. Let's give it a couple seconds. There we go. It's loading kind of slow. Hey, pretty girl 96. Hi, LaTanya Gibson. Hi. I see you guys. It says hello. All right, so let's get started because we do have some great topics to get through, and I want to go ahead and get them out the way. All right, let's go ahead and get started. Hey, guys, I see y'all coming in. Everything said in the video is alleged and in my opinion and is used for fair use and entertainment, okay? Yes, and yes. Hey, I see y'all coming in. Let's get started, honey. Let's get started. All right. They're saying that Diddy may soon learn let's start over. It says Diddy may soon learn if he'll be charged criminally with sex trafficking and as grand jury weighs evidence. Okay. So I know Diddy has a lot of charges against him and a lot of sexual assault charges as well as trafficking and RICO charges as well. So they're saying that Diddy and his legal team were notified by federal authorities in the Southern District of New York last week that he's the focus of an ongoing investigation, sources told NBC News. It also goes on to say that the same insiders claim that the federal grand jury is currently hearing evidence as part of the investigation, but there is no confirmation that formal charges will be brought as of yet, okay? It says that the bulk of the evidence is not yet known. As you guys know, they have a plethora of videos that they have to go through after doing the home raids that they did through Homeland Security through 3 of his properties. So Diddy is still under investigation. It does take time for them to get all of those pieces of evidence in terms of interviewing people that they've seen on videos. It's going to take a while because he's had a lot of properties, a lot of cameras, a lot of footage to get through, a lot of evidence, a lot of testimonies to take in. It's a lot because people are now starting to talk and cooperate. So we'll see what it's giving. But they've reached out, and usually when the feds have a case or they create a case, 9 times out of 10 they have something, which is why they're knocking on your door. I mean, if they're doing a whole raid at your house, 9 times out, they already know something. They've been watching you if they have a raid and they said that they have some type of evidence. So yeah, we'll be hearing something soon about Diddy and his BS, and I'm pretty sure he'll be spending some time in the prison. Okay. All right, let's go ahead and get into this next topic, honey. All right, let's get into this next topic. Pardon me. Hey guys, hey, thank y'all for being here. All right, so shout out to Neighborhood Talk. This young lady tries to run off, you guys, without paying her stylist after she got braids. So she went to somebody's house to get some braids, and she tried to run off without paying. And the woman tried to stop her, and then she wants to try to say, "Oh, I'm pregnant," and all of this. My thing is, you know, you need to get your money, at least most of it, up front, just in case there's some issues. My thing is, you getting braids, you've been sitting there for quite some time. You already knew you ain't have the money. You should have said that up front instead of waiting till this person finish your hair and try to get up and run off. That's so fucking disrespectful, because the person put the work in and then time in to do your hair. Okay. All right. So let's go ahead and get into this.
I'm pregnant. I'm not touching you. I am not okay. Listen, I'm coming. You want me to cut these braids out? No, but I'm coming back. I am not okay with you. I don't care.
I'm gonna run off and get in her car without paying her. I see that. Go disrespect. It's Poco's. So I'm pretty sure that didn't turn out well. Yeah, you got to pay for services. You can't be out here trying to be asking somebody to damn do your hair, then go running up out the door. That takes time.
I'm pregnant. I'm not touching you. I am not okay. Listen, I'm coming. You want me to cut these braids out? No, but I'm coming back. I am not okay with you. I don't care.
That's crazy. I would have got my money. I would have got my money up front, or at least the majority. If I'm charging you $175, I'd have got more than half up front, just in case you want to be on that mess. For real, that's disrespectful. Look at her braids. That look good. Those look good, and look how long they are. So that takes time. That takes time. Yeah, girl. She said, she told her, I'm about to cut these braids about your head, honey. I don't blame her. All right, let's move on, honey. We're moving along. We trucking along, honey. We trucking along. How y'all doing? This is the jail has a medical unit. Just okay, period. These people be doing the most. All right. Shout out to Build a Different TV. Now, a woman wants her date to pay for her 2 kids on their first date because he was late on the date. How do y'all feel about that? My thing is this: if it's the first date, you shouldn't be bringing your kids anyway, because you're still getting to learn this person. So the fact that you would bring your kids and then feel like he's obligated to pay for your kids as well because you felt he was late for the date, that's disrespectful. Let's get into this.
Your kids.
You already had me wait an hour and a half. So it's for my kids.
Real kid.
Yeah, you owe me that.
And they with their daddy? No, they.
Oh my God. So that's so. Go ahead and bring another steak and some potatoes. Okay.
No, don't bring no potatoes. No, bring the check. I'm paying for my meal and your meal. I'm not paying for your kids' meal. No.
Yes, you are.
No, I'm not paying for their kids' meal. No.
So you don't think you owe me after having me wait an hour and a half?
I told you I owe you. I owe you one. I'll take you out
okay,
again.
So you're gonna pay for my kids' food?
No, I'm not doing that.
Can you please go ahead and
I'm not doing that. Okay. No. Hold up, beautiful. Hold on. Don't do that.
Why you not bring 2, please?
What's her name, Kiera? Why should I do that, Kiera?
Because you sitting right here on the date.
I was late to the date.
You bring 2 orders.
But I said, why would I get her kids food? Why would I get her kids some food? They with their daddy.
She was right here.
They daddy should be feeding them.
She was waiting.
You say you ordered a steak for your son. How old is he?
He ate.
He ate eating steak. He eating the same thing I eat. Nah, hell no. I'm straight. I'm cool. Don't put that on my bill. Don't put that on me.
Make sure you put a side of A1 sauce as well. He paying for all of this today.
I'm not paying for all that. No, I'm not paying for all that.
Yes, you are.
You gonna get her fired up in here?
She ain't gonna get fired.
No, I'm about to go back in the kitchen. You got me messed up. I'm about to tell her right now. No, for real. I'm telling her right now. No, I'm not paying for that. No, I'm go for it.
That's crazy. I would have got up and paid for my shit and left like deuces. You on some other stuff. First of all, what the hell you bringing your kids on a first date anyway? And then, and 2, if you gonna order them food, it damn sure ain't gonna be no steak and potatoes. Like, ain't no kids menu up on here. You better get them some damn chicken nuggets or chicken tenders and some fries in this bitch. Like, if that, cause I ain't said I was paying for them. I'm taking you out. Now, if you choose to bring your kids, you need to go ahead and dig up in your wallet and then order your kids some food and go on and commence to paying for that. I ain't about to do it. That's what I told her ass, and I'd have got my ass up and left. That's what I'd have done. But yeah, that's some ratchet mess right there. You got some chicks out there that really feel entitled and think that they can up and do that. Like, and then you sit there guzzling down that drink, which I'm sure he's paying for as well. You don't get to order off somebody like that and then be all up in his pockets. You don't know if he had money to pay for your kids coming on the date. And you talking about order 2 more steak plates with potatoes. Girl, steak costs money. Hell, I don't even like steak like that. I don't eat steak like that. If I ever eat it at all. I just, girl, This giving entitlement. It's giving that you trying to play in this man's face. It's giving that he probably won't trying to see you again for another date any damn way. But go off, child. Ratchet. She probably won't get another date after that. You probably ain't getting no another date after that, sis. Okay. Now, we talked about my girl Shannon Bedore, honey, from Real Housewives of OC, okay? Because I do watch that, and I know some of you guys watch too. Because when we kind of talked about it before, y'all were like, "Oh yeah, I watched that." But yeah, y'all know the one child with Vicky that used to be on there. I used to like Vicky being on the show. But honey, it's given that Shannon is still not over her recent ex dating her friend Alexis Bellino. Which is now getting ready to be on the show again with the storyline with her man. I said, child, y'all know who Shannon Bedore is, honey. She's had her little DUI where she was out here fishtailing in them damn streets, but that's Shannon. So it says the Real Housewives of OC Shannon Bedore spills tea on Alexis Bellino dating her ex, okay? It says after Shannon Bedore's breakup with John Jansen, says that fans were surprised to see that Real Housewives of Orange County star Alexis Bellino started dating her ex. That's trifling. I would not want my friend to be dating my ex. Like, that's giving too much. All right, so let's go ahead and play what she had to say. Make it bigger. All right.
That when we had broken up, and then they started dating about 6 weeks after we broke up.
That's
and
it?
then
6 weeks after they broke up, that means you were already seeing and or finagling with Alexis over there, John Jansen.
And then the show started filming, and I think they'd been dating about a month and a half, 2 months at that time. So it was a new relationship. So no, it wasn't fun, but I got through it. And so you'll have to tune in because I've seen the first episode, and it's a lot. It's juicy.
It is juicy.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Shannon, I have a question for you. And I was going to ask you this. I saw when the cast photo came out of everybody, a lot of the cast members posted it and cut out Alexis on the side. Was that something you guys had joined together to make a decision that you wanted to do that or not?
She wasn't a part of the all cast photo.
She is. And
she's a friend. Let's be clear.
Okay.
Alexis Bellino is a friend. She's not holding an orange.
Who's friend?
I always thought that she was going to be holding an orange.
Me too.
She's holding she's holding a tangerine off to the side.
No, because
a little clementine.
She's hopeful.
Because a lot of the cast members didn't have her, and then when Alexis posted it, she shows herself on the side, on the far side, in a gold dress.
First of all, I don't look at her social media, but if I wanted to, apparently I'm blocked. So I wouldn't know what Alexis's version of the photo. She photoshopped it. It's like maybe like wishful thinking.
Did she put an orange in her hand?
Yes.
No, we did. The cast photo. The cast photo does not have an orange. Wait, did
she added herself?
Photoshop that?
Yeah, is that not real?
No.
That's what she posted.
I'm looking at
you guys
on her Instagram.
So I was confused when I saw that.
She was not. But I don't know if this means anything, but let's take her out because she never was in the flipping picture. Who's in the center? Who's in the center, girlfriend? Bam. That would be me.
Wait, so she photoshopped herself into
yes!
that
is not the all cast photo.
Was she there for assets day, though? Did she do the assets?
It says in the caption, thanks at this account for including me in this photo, and watch out because the truth will be told. So she's acknowledging.
Yeah, because I was totally confused because all the cast posted that photo without Alexis. I thought they purposely cut her out, and then Alexis posted with her
sharing the Photoshop.
I mean,
it looks like the girl that's account Photoshop.
It's so thirsty, and I'll just leave it at that.
Come on, thirsty. But yeah, so Shannon was like, she was out here finagling with my man out here. Now, 6 weeks after they broke up, it's given that y'all was doing something way prior. That's what it's giving me. And then you supposed to be friends with her too. Like, I don't understand that. I would feel a way about that. And she would never, ever be a friend of mine again. to be up and dating my man 6 weeks after we break up. You was already messing with John, honey, and I don't care what nobody say. I don't care what nobody say. But shout out to Shannon Bador, honey. I love me some Shannon, child. She just need to cut back on the alcohol a little bit, child. She be drinking a lot. All right. And she done had, what is it, 2 DUIs? Shannon had like 2 DUIs. What a drunk ass. All right, let's go and get on to the next topic, girl. Yeah, so honey, if your man is already in a relationship weeks after y'all break up, he was already seeing the bitch before y'all broke up. Just FYI, okay? Just letting you know. All right, so we got some little hot news out here now. Now it says that Sierra Gates, as we already know, I talked about this morning, put Sheree Whitfield on blast, okay? She's dating Sierra Gates' ex-boyfriend, according to Sierra. And it says, plus Kandi Burruss is done with Real Housewives of Atlanta for good, child. What's going on? Because I know Kandi said she was taking a little hiatus, and then she was going to be coming back. So let's get into what they're saying here, child. Now, they're saying that the last public relationship that had people talking and scratching their heads was Sheree's time with Martell Holt, which we all know that was fake. Now, they said that many questioned why Sheree would get close to Love and Marriage Huntsville cast member, all right, Martell. It says that he has a messy past, including having a baby outside of his marriage with Melody Cherie Rogers. Regardless, says that Sheree said that Martell was nice to her, and at the time that their romance, despite his actions on and off Love and Marriage Huntsville. It says that when Martell made appearances on Real Housewives of Atlanta, he clashed with Kenya Moore, Kandi Burruss, and fans questioned if the romance was just for television because they believed the chemistry was lacking. Fake. It also goes on to say that Melody later claimed that Martell allegedly referred to the relationship as a business move in court documents. Y'all remember she said that at the reunion, okay? Now they're saying that interestingly enough, that Love and Hip Hop Atlanta star Sierra Gates recently blasted Sheree on Instagram, says that Sierra alleged that Sheree is currently dating her ex-husband, Eric Whitehead, okay? It says that Sierra wrote, "Can y'all please tell Eric to leave me and my fiance alone, that he continuously posts pictures of me and my fiance." She says, "It's embarrassing and it's crazy." She says, "I just want to be left alone, and he's in a whole relationship with Sheree." It says, "You got a whole housewife and you acting so classless." She goes on to say that at her house, at her pool party, posting pictures of her pool inside of her house, being a groupie, that he is seeking for attention, looking for a way to get on TV from a successful woman. It says that, "How are you at your girl's house bothering me, LOL." It says that, "Leave me alone, bro. Like, take a G and move on." Okay. You mean take a L, honey. Take a L, meaning a loss. All right. So yeah, that's what she has said. So she put Sheree out there for dating her ex-husband, child. Now let's get into what they're saying about Kandi Burruss, honey, planning to never return to Real Housewives of Atlanta. Because I was like, girl, I thought you said you was gonna leave this season because you had other stuff and you were busy. And I don't know now if they not bringing with them not bringing Kenya back, is that sparking a little attitude in you to where you saying, well, shit, if they ain't bringing Kenya back, then hell, I ain't coming back. So let's see what they're saying. It says that Kandi Burruss has no plans to ever return to Real Housewives of Atlanta. It says that Sierra Gates confirmed that she is now engaged to current man, and she's been spending time with days before calling out Eric. Sierra Gates' engagement will likely be playing out on Love and Hip Hop Atlanta. Sheree has not responded yet. It says in related housewife news that Kandi is in the headlines for her comments during an interview. Said that she confirmed that she left Real Housewives of Atlanta to the morning hustle to focus on other opportunities. It says that there are a lot of things that I wanted to do and that I'm trying to make happen right now. So I was like, says it. So I was like, it's the best time for me to go on and do my own thing. Okay. So it says that Kandi has no desire to return to Real Housewives of Atlanta. Now, with her making that announcement, fans have also been asking, does that open the door for Phaedra to come back? Because a lot of people have been asking Phaedra to come back, including Portia. Portia wants Phaedra back on the show, and we already know that Kandi's already made it perfectly clear that she would not film with and or have any scenes with Phaedra ever since Phaedra put the lie out there saying that she was trying to R-word people and have them drunk or drugged up in her dungeon, in her sex dungeon at her house. So when she put that rumor out there and that lie out there, Kandi made it clear to Bravo and Andy and everyone else that she would not film with Phaedra, that if Phaedra was going to be on the show, she would not. So they chose Kandi over Phaedra. And now that Kandi has decided that she don't want to come back, fans are asking that Phaedra come back because Portia wants to film with her. Portia wants to get Frick and Frack, as she and Phaedra, back on the show. So we'll see what it's given. I don't know. I do know that she is currently filming scenes with Married to Medicine, and I'm hearing that she will be making some appearances on Real Housewives of Atlanta to film a few scenes with Portia. So that may be their way of trying to slowly navigate Phaedra back onto Real Housewives of Atlanta, and it may happen now that Kandi is thinking about not coming back. So what you guys think about that? What y'all think about that? We'll see what it's giving, y'all. We'll see what it's giving. It says in a recent interview with the Morning Hustle that Kandi states that she has no attention. Let's go ahead and listen to it. Shout out to the Morning Hustle.
Are you gonna leave the Housewives? Or?
I already left.
You left. So I just went. You made sure. Okay.
I wouldn't even have been able to do this tour if I was still filming, because obviously they filming right now. And last season they was all complaining because I was always gone doing something else. And so there are a lot of things that I wanted to do that I'm trying to make happen right now.
Yeah.
So I was just like, it's the best time for me to go on and do.
But it's more like a pause, right? Like
I don't really have intentions of going back. Okay. So I don't want people. I don't want to leave people hanging like I'll be sitting here. Oh yeah, I'm gonna be back next year, because right now it's I'm focused on what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Y'all hear that? So that's the end of it. She says she don't have no intentions of coming back. Did y'all hear Kandi say that? Let's back it up for the people in the back.
I don't really have intentions of going back. Okay. So I don't really have intentions of going back. Okay. So I don't want to leave people hanging like I'll be sitting here. Oh yeah, I'm gonna be back next year, because right now it's I'm focused on what I'm doing.
Yeah.
There you go. So Kandi has spoken. Kandi is not planning to return. We should have known it was too good to be true. Kandi is busy anyway. Kandi has her hands in so many things. Her acting career is picking up. I think she's still on the Shy. She did announce that there's another show that she's going to be on as well. Plus she's doing her movies, her little Tubi movies type things that she's doing. Plus she's still touring with Escape. She's still writing music. Kandi is busy. Kandi is booked and busy. So this little Real Housewives of Atlanta check, even though she was getting, I think, $2 million, she was the highest paid, and now Portia is the highest paid. Kandi, I mean, she ain't missing that. Hell, from her businesses tag, like she's running businesses. She got 2 restaurants. Kandi, 3, because she has 2 OLGs, and then she has Blaze restaurant as well, the one that have all the power and stuff going on. But Kandi is super busy. Kandi got a coin. Kandi is chasing her bag, and Kandi is gonna be okay if she's not back on this damn show. So bottom line is she's spoken. Kandi is not returning to Real Housewives of Atlanta. You heard it right here on my show. All right. Right here on my show. All right, let's go ahead and get into this next great topic, child. We are moving along. Yes, please hit that like button, honey. Somebody said Kandi good. Y'all don't want to see Kandi come back. Kandi didn't really bring a lot. I ain't gonna lie. We were sick and tired of the Mama Joyce storyline and all that. We were tired of that shit. So thankfully, Kandi is gonna move on, child, and it's gonna open the door for other people to come in, child. Okay, we know Nene's ass ain't gonna be coming back. We know that too, but we'll see what it's giving with this new season 16. All right, let's get into the next topic.
Drama in a California courtroom. A promising young football star who had been imprisoned for years on charges of kidnapping and rape was exonerated today. He won his freedom after he secretly recorded his accuser, a childhood friend, who admitted that she had lied. ABC's Cecilia Vega is in Los Angeles.
It was the moment Brian Banks had been waiting a decade for.
The people's motion to dismiss this case.
And as he heard those words he knew to be true all along, all he could do was sob. Banks had been wrongly convicted, falsely accused of raping and kidnapping a childhood friend. Today, a judge tossed out the charges, and Banks walked out of court in pure jubilation, hoping for a new future.
Awesome. Fantastic.
I feel like anything is possible, and it's proven today for me by me getting my freedom back. I feel like this is just the first step to reinventing my life.
In 2002, he had been a 16-year-old high school football star with dreams of an NFL career. But those hopes were shattered when he was convicted. Banks always maintained the encounter was consensual, but rather than face 41 years to life behind bars, on the advice of his lawyer, he took a plea deal and spent 5 years in prison.
That's more than I can describe. The things that I've been through and the things that I've endured.
Congrats, man. Thank you.
Today, Banks is an innocent man because that accuser tracked him down on Facebook after his release and admitted
A drama in a California courtroom. A promising.
Today, Banks is an innocent man because that accuser tracked him down on Facebook after his release and admitted she lied. They met, and the meeting where his accuser recanted was recorded. This video was key to overturning the case.
I may not ever get the answers as to why I was supposed to go through what I went through, but I know that I'm here today and I remain unbroken.
Now at 26, Banks is picking up where his once shattered dreams left off, working out again, hoping for another shot at life in football. Cecilia Vega, ABC News, Los Angeles. Today, Banks.
That makes me so sad because he had a promising football career, and this girl, just one moment of being with somebody in an intimate moment where it was consensual, this girl lied on him, in which he should press charges against her. She should be held in contempt of court for lying under oath as well, because you gave a testimony under oath and you lied. That's a crime in itself. I feel like she should have charges pressed against her, and the same amount of time, if not more, that he had to spend wasting his life away in a cell day after day for 5 years. He was facing 40 years to life. Thank God his attorneys worked their magic to where he only served 5, but still that's 5 years he could never get back of his life. 5 years of football that he missed out on. The boy was only trying to do the right thing. It's not like he was out here running the streets, committing crimes, wreaking havoc in the neighborhoods, in and out of trouble. He had a promising career and a promising future, but he got mixed up with the wrong person who decided to destroy his life and his future. And that person needs to be held accountable for what she did to this man. It's sad to see him sitting up here crying in court. Thank God they let this man out and didn't let him sit in jail and rot over something that he did not do. Because there's a lot of innocent people sitting in prison, believe it or not, that ain't did a damn thing because somebody else said that they did something or they was at the wrong place at the wrong damn time. We have a lot of innocent black men sitting in prison right now that never ever did nothing, just happened to be at the wrong place at the wrong time. So I'm happy this man was vindicated. I'm happy that he got out. I'm happy that he got his life back and he's getting back into the groove of getting his life back on track. And hopefully, I hope somebody pick him up and let him play football. I really do. Because he went in there at 16. He lost a lot of time, even though a lot of people say it was only 5 years. 5 years is a lot of time, bitch, when you sitting in prison. I ain't never been to prison. They ain't trying to go. But 5 years and you sitting in there knowing that you didn't do anything, knowing that you're innocent, that makes it even worse. That makes the time longer. Because 5 years could feel like 50 years in that bitch when you ain't did nothing and somebody has sat up in court and said, yeah, he absolutely did. He R-worded me. She needs to be in prison. I'm sorry. Wherever she is, and thank God he recorded her confession, and had he not done that, he would probably be still sitting in jail today. He had a conversation with her. She tracked him down on Facebook. They had a conversation, and he recorded it, and that's what got him free because he was able to turn that in. Ain't that something? Ain't that something? Thank God for recordings. Okay, sir, I'm happy that you out and moving on with your life out here. Okay, thank the Lord. All right, let's get into the next topic. That really made me sad, but I'm happy that he is out. That part made me happy. All right, let's move on, honey. Ooh, stuff like that just burns me. It balls me. It balls me. Now, she don't need no slap on the wrist, baby. She need to be in the prison. Okay, your ass need to be in prison because you'll do it again to somebody else, and they ain't gonna be so lucky next time. Maybe it was her conscience that made her reach out to him and want to talk and confess. But baby, you were wrong for that. You were wrong to take that man's life like that. All right, let's go ahead and get into this next topic, honey. Maxine Waters slams critics about Joe Biden's age. A lot of people are saying they feel like Joe Biden is too old to be running this next term again and da-da-da-da. I mean, hell, he's the best choice over Trump any day. I keep saying it. Yes, he's old. Yes, child, he's on up there. He's aged a lot since he's been in office. But if there's anybody that I'm going to vote for in this election, it's going to be Biden. Fuck Trump, and I don't care who's in my comments and don't like it. If you're a supporter for Trump, I can't tell you who to vote for, but I'm telling you who I'm not voting for. All right. So Maxine Waters, honey, she steps in and she says, look, I'm older than Biden and I take care of the black people. Okay, let's get into it. I like Maxine Waters. I like her.
You look good, Congresswoman. And I get up every morning.
All right.
And I exercise.
All right.
And I work late hours.
All right.
I take care of black people.
All right.
Trump has told you who he is. He defined himself. He is a no good, deplorable, lying, despicable human being. And he's talking about if he doesn't win, there's going to be a bloodbath. There's going to be violence. There's going to be a civil war. Who the hell do you think he's coming after? We're now at a point in time where people are talking about Biden is too old. Hell, I'm older than Biden. You better tell him.
You look good, Congresswoman.
And I get up every morning.
All right.
And I exercise.
All right.
And I work late hours.
All right.
I'm going to be targeted. Who is he talking about? But you know he means business because he is the one that led the invasion on the Capitol January 6th. Now, do we have to talk about the difference between these two? Now, I want to tell you, no matter what anybody says, it ain't going to be no other Democratic candidate. It's going to be Biden, and we better know it. Going to be targeted.
What y'all think about that? I'm voting for Biden. I'm sorry. I don't usually like talk politics on my channel. I usually don't like to visit politics, but people, please be wise when you vote, okay? We don't want to see another repeat of what happened January 6th with Trump with his damn minions. That was a catastrophe watching that bullshit. Like it was. And you can't be making threats saying if I don't win, this is going to happen, which really is the reason why you should not be in office, because it doesn't seem like you have the American people at heart. It's seeming like you're more so into this for your own personal reasons versus getting in there and making a change and a difference in office in the areas that it really needs to be changed. It's more of an ego-driven win for Trump versus getting in there and focusing on the changes and the things that need to be done. So I gotta go for Biden. I'm sorry. I gotta go for Biden. Trump is too ego-driven. Trump is too when you sit there and say it's gonna be violence if I don't win, that shit just tells you everything that needs to be told. I mean, just his mentality, what he believes in, the way that he have his people going for other people, like with the whole, like I said, the way they did that mess on the Capitol, that was just all wrong. That was all wrong. I mean, damn. Y'all be wise. I'm gonna just say that. I'm getting up off this topic. Be wise in your vote when it's time to vote. Do the right thing. Vote for the right person. I can't tell you who to vote for, obviously, but do the right thing and vote right, you guys, so that we don't be out here stuck with a fool who's a whole criminal with all these damn felonies. He shouldn't be allowed to even fucking run for office any freaking way. Now they're trying to get him pardoned, which I feel like that should not happen either. I don't feel like he should be able to run another term, but it's not my decision. But what I can do is my part by getting my ass up and go down there and vote. Okay. And that goes for everyone else watching me. Okay. That goes for everyone else watching me. I like Maxine Waters. Shout out to her, man. She knows how to liberate people and kind of get you going and really make you see this thing for what it is. So shout out to Maxine Waters and shout out to President Biden, child. All right. And I hope he wins the next term. Let's get into some more topics, Lord. All right, so shout out to those of you that live in the Houston, in the Texas area. You guys know that there is a hurricane, honey, that is tearing up down there. Let's go ahead and get into that because, baby, prayers to anybody that's affected. Do I have anybody in my chat that's affected by this hurricane, you guys? If so, prayers to you guys. I hope you guys are safe out there because this is crazy. This looks so scary. It says that 2 people are unalived in Houston, in the Houston area. Millions are left without power as hurricane, Beryl, makes landfall in Texas. My God, this looks scary, y'all. Jesus.
Of Hurricane Beryl coming through downtown Houston, Texas, as we are dealing with many watches, many warnings, a tornado watch extending throughout the course of the morning, also a flash flood warning going through the course of the morning, and multiple river flood warnings. Remember, all the water here trying to flow out to Galveston Bay, if it has that onshore flow from the storm, it's stopping that flow from going into Galveston Bay, which means we can have river flooding. So many issues presenting We've got wind, we've got rain. The rain coming down in extraordinary rates, not to mention power outages being a major problem for truly millions of people. More than 1 million power customers without power. Remember, a customer is one address. One address could have 5 or more people in it, so you have to multiply that out by potentially millions of people. The rain rates have been extraordinary. We're talking what is easily multiple inches per hour falling. And the eye wall of Hurricane Beryl coming through have been for quite some time. So we've got intense amounts of rain, intense wind, hurricane force gusts down at Houston Hobby Airport tracked at 86 miles per hour, the highest so far.
Yikes.
Just highlighting how dangerous it is for folks to be outside. Flights are an issue. More than 1,100 cancellations between the 2 Houston airports. Also, mass transit, the metro system, trains and buses shut down until further notice here in Houston. Certainly, this day is getting off to a very dangerous start for millions. In Houston, Texas, Justin Michaels, the Weather Channel. Have been for
wow. All right, so it says early Monday that Hurricane Beryl hit the Texas coast as a Category 1 storm, causing widespread chaos and leaving millions without power. It says that the storm, which made landfall near Matagorda, unleashed torrential rain, life-threatening storm surges, and wind gusts reaching up to 97 miles per hour. Oh my God. It says that as Beryl moved inland, it says it weakened to a tropical storm, but it still caused significant damage, resulting in the death of 2 people so far. It says in the separate incidents that 2 people were unalived after trees fell on top of their homes in the Houston area. So you guys be safe. If there's anyone in my chat that's being affected by that, guys, please get to a safe area. Please get to a safe area. If they're asking you guys to evacuate, if you can, please do so, because we don't want to hear about someone else losing their life. This is a dangerous situation, okay? Prayers for anyone that's in that area that don't have power at this moment. Prayers to you guys that you continue to be safe, all right? So please, please, please do not go out unless you necessarily have to. Hopefully you guys have gone out and purchased groceries and things that you need for your home until you guys get over this storm, okay? So prayers for safety for all of you watching under the sound of my voice that's affected by this storm, okay? Let's move on. All right, so I saw this interview. As you guys know, rapper Soulja Boy used to date Teddy Riley's daughter, Nia Riley, and he talks about the abuse that his daughter went through while dating Soulja Boy. Now, I actually saw her interview where she talked about this, and she talked about how she tried to leave him multiple times. He would not allow her. One particular incident, she says that he had a barber come by the house to cut his hair, and she felt like, okay, this is the time for me to leave because he's distracted. And she said that she got to the stairs and got ready to go down the stairs to leave. She packed her a small bag. She says there was a mirror in the hallway to where she could kind of look to see where he was positioned, if he was still getting his hair cut. She says that she then went to the stairs to go down those same stairs to get ready to leave. And she said she felt something in the back of her head as she was getting ready to walk down the stairs. Use your imagination. She felt a piece of steel in the back of her head. She said she slowly sat down on the stairs, and he told her that she was not going anywhere. So she would be entrapped in that house and not able to leave when she felt like it. And he was being very abusive towards her as well during the time that she was dating him and the time that they were filming Love and Hip Hop, because they filmed that show together. Now, Teddy Riley does an interview where he speaks on his encounter with Soulja Boy, and they had an actual altercation, he says. Let's go ahead and get into this and let him tell you, child.
Claim that Soulja Boy kicked her in the stomach while she was pregnant, put a gun to her head, that type of thing. As a father, how does that affect you?
Well, let me say this. Soulja Boy knows who I am. And he knows I'm deep. He knows I'm very deep. We had an altercation. I was called a lot of names, and I got an apology. I'm looking for an apology for what he's done to my daughter. I'm looking for that. As a man, I'm looking for that. And I think she deserves it. You know, not even me. Because here's someone who really stuck behind him, did the show for him, you know, because she thought this was going to happen and it was going to be them. I watched them live together and I didn't know all of that was going on. So I think if he were to be a man, a true man, which you rarely find a lot of them out there, who are able to really become a man and have a heart to say something as that equals to our apology, to make it right.
Nia claimed that Soulja Boy kicked her in the stomach.
Teddy still looks good, don't he? Teddy Riley still looks good. Okay, after all these years, he's still out here making hits and doing his thing. But it's very sad that his daughter went through what she went through being with Soulja Boy. Soulja Boy has a lot of demons that he's dealing with. Like, he is always threatening people online. Like, it doesn't just stop with her. He was also with another female that he was dating, and he was also abusive towards her. He actually had to pay her because she sued him for abusing her, and the courts made him pay her like almost $1 million, you guys. And yeah, he was trying to avoid doing that, but he had to pay this girl almost $1 million. But he has a lot of demons. He is very violent. He does not respect women. And I don't know why girls keep trying to date him and be with him. I don't know if it's for clout, it's for money. I don't know, but he be screaming on people. I watched the interview where she talked about how he used to get in her face and scream at her. Mind you, she has a daughter that was also in the house witnessing this stuff as well. And she tried to leave him numerous times and he would not allow it. Okay. She had bruises from him. Teddy said he didn't even know during the time his daughter was staying with Soulja Boy that he was doing this to his daughter. So thank God he intervened. And of course, her daughter broke up with him and they're no longer together. Thank God. So now he's moved on and he's dating another girl who he's probably doing the same thing too. So he's not going to learn his lesson. It's something going on with him to where he feels he needs to disrespect women the way that he does. He's going to wind up in prison if he doesn't stop, or hurting someone or unaliving someone, because you can't be running around here. Suppose you put a pow to somebody's head and it accidentally goes off. You're still going to go to prison whether it's an accident or not. So why are you trying to scare somebody into being with you? It shows that you have a lot of insecurities within yourself that you got to make somebody be with you versus them willfully being there and loving you in a relationship. So it's sad. He needs to seek some counseling. He needs to seek therapy. And then on top of the fact that he is allegedly doing drugs as well, on top of that, does not help the situation any better. So shout out to Neil Riley for getting the hell away from him and not looking back. Okay. And shout out to Teddy Riley for stepping to him man to man and letting him know, don't you ever put your hand on my daughter again, nigga. Okay, because that's what it takes. All right, that's why it's important for fathers to be in their daughters' lives so that they can teach them how to love and what love is, so they can be loved properly when they find a man or when they get with a man. Okay, I'm just saying, fathers is a daughter's first love. You know, that's who teach their daughters what being a real man is about. So when they go out there, they're not picking out these sorry, moist ass niggas who feel like they got to control them and put pows to their head and tell them what to do and put hands on them. Like, no, that's why it's imperative for fathers to be in their daughters' lives, to teach them what real love is all about and what real protection is about, because a man can't love you if he also don't protect you. Love and protection go hand in hand. Okay, so women need to learn that. That's just a little lesson there. Let's get on, child, to the next topic. Okay, let's get on to the next topic. All right, so of course Tasha K, honey, is having a little issue with Jess Hilarious. They had some words. Tasha K, of course, did a very lackluster apology, and she read her down still in the apology. Jess Hilarious said some smart shit to Tasha K. Tasha came back and said some smart shit about her. So Tasha said she was going to issue an apology. I don't feel like that was an apology because you read her down and you still told her business. Tasha K gonna make somebody step to her ass one day because she is just team too much sometimes. All right, let's go on and get into this fake ass lackluster apology that she gave to Jess Hilarious. Okay, damn.
Shout out hilarious, unhilarious. Okay, I spoke with my PR team, and I want to say I'm sorry for saying ain't just unhilarious somewhere knocked up, becoming a baby mama for the second time, paying all the bills with a different dad as we speak. That BBL fell off after 7 years of use on married men. Ain't got a man to take you serious or make you an honest woman yet. Or does he feel that you emasculate him because your voice is deeper than his and your pockets are longer than his? Girl, go play in makeup. Keep my name out your mouth. Your mouth should stay off me and only be used to secure a marriage certificate and his name on a birth certificate before he makes you pay child support to him. I then go on to say, which I deeply regret, see y'all Sunday, Winos, Indianapolis, Indiana at the Helium Comedy Club. Doors open at 6 p.m. Show starts at 7 p.m. Don't worry, I'm going to hold y'all over in comedy for 6 weeks until Jess gets back off maternity leave. That's all she can afford to take off because she's the man and the woman of the house. So give me a second here, okay?
That's so messy. That is a messy apology to Tasha Keke. Jesus.
I want to apologize to Jess. She is pregnant. I shouldn't have made fun of her being a second baby mama.
That is so messy. Okay. I want them to squash this beef because bottom line is she is pregnant and she do have a slick mouth too. Jess Hilarious does have a slick mouth. She is from Baltimore. She will read the hell up out of you. Okay. I don't really see her as being funny. A lot of people say, oh, she's hilarious. I don't think she's funny. And that ain't even no shade. She's just not funny to me. But Tasha K is literally gonna make somebody like run up on her and like really go upside her damn noggin for the way she be talking shit to people. She is always going back and forth with people. Like you just got into it with Al and with Claudia Jordan. She was just going off on Claudia Jordan. I played it on my channel. She was talking shit about and going off on Claudia Jordan. Now you going at it with Jess Hilarious. Like, damn, I'm starting to think, is this for clout? Or are you just really getting into it with everybody in Hollywood, Tasha? You're getting sued by everybody and you're arguing and picking fights with everybody. And then when you're saying you apologizing to this girl, you being messy and putting her business out there and reading her down, like she ain't going to come back and say some shit after she hears this. She going to get right there on the Breakfast Club and be coming right back at you. And y'all going to keep going back and forth like two little schoolgirls. And at this point, it's just beyond petty, okay? Like, give a real apology. Move on. Be the adult. Be the bigger person in this, Tasha. Damn, okay? And stop fighting with people. Shit. Let's move on, child. All right, so many of you know that Kiki Jabar, honey, was laid to rest today. All right, let's go ahead and get into some pictures that I have for you guys. All right, let's get into some pictures. Rest in peace, honey, to the beautiful Kiki Jabar. All right, this is her. This is the program, okay? Celebration of Life, Kiki. Very nicely done, okay? Very nicely done. Says you'll be Miss Beautiful. That is her program. That's a nice picture that they used, okay? That's her little baby picture on the side. That's cute. Whoever did the program did a really, really good job. That's a nice picture that they chose of Kiki, okay? All right. That's them at the burial, okay? That's them at the burial. Her, as you guys can see, beautiful flowers. Her casket is purple, of course, because y'all know it's her favorite color. Everybody wore purple to the funeral. Of course, Wanda and them were not there, okay, from my understanding and what I'm told. All right, so this is where they're getting ready to put her down. That's the family. Everybody, of course, you see is emotional. It's a funeral. So yes, that's her, some of the flowers. But yeah, so we only have 3 pictures that's been released so far for Kiki. So prayers for her and her family. All right. Again, that is her beautiful, beautiful casket. That is her flowers. Okay. That's that. That's her funeral. Okay. She had a big turnout. It was a lot of people there. I'm hearing it was a lot of people there. Kiki had a lot of people that loved her. My understanding is Love and Marriage Huntsville cameras were not there. So I don't think they got footage of this particular situation. I hope they do a rest in peace tribute to her on the show. Yeah. So that's her program. This is her program. Okay. Very nicely done. Okay. So as I get more pictures, I will share that with you guys. Okay. It says, I heard Stormy was live saying that Destiny attended Kiki's funeral. Maybe she did. I know they said they didn't want anybody from the show to be there. So maybe Destiny did get up in there, child. I don't know. All right. So let's get into this interview that I saw that I hope we can get through it. Okay. It's kind of eye-opening. Some things I did not know. I did not see the last 10 minutes, so I'll be watching that with you guys, okay? Let's go ahead and get into it, shout out to Rolling Out. This is an interview with Kiki Jabar, okay, where she talks about her life on the show and things off the show, situations with she and Tasha. Let's get into it as she's doing this interview, and let's go.
Of course, I'll just be honest with you. When you come on the show as Tasha's cousin, right? I think you guys favor, you can definitely see the family resemblance. I'm like, how are cousins coming on and they're on opposite sides of the Letitia Melody, disconnect. So let's talk about how you even got onto the cast, because now you're an actual cast member. But before we saw you as a friend of the show, but you were not necessarily Tasha's friend. You were with Melody.
Yeah.
So how did all that happen?
Well, actually, it was supposed to be that Melody and I were friends.
Okay.
Melody, there's a huge misconception that I went onto the show with Melody to spite my cousin. That's not true.
Okay.
Melody and I actually met before she even knew Tasha. We met years and years ago because we were the same undergraduate major.
Okay.
And shoot, I'm sorry. He messed me up. I'm sorry, y'all. Not like Melody and I were the same undergraduate major in
college.
In college. I'm sorry.
Okay.
It was her undergraduate major, my master's major in college. So while I was getting my master's in English education, she was also getting her undergrad degree.
Okay.
So that's how we became familiar with one another.
Okay.
And we share a common best friend.
Okay.
One of my previous colleagues who was an English professor with me is also best friends with Miller.
Okay.
So that's how she and I know each other. We've known each other since about 2007.
Okay.
So it's been over 10 years at this point.
Okay.
A lot of people have misconceptions about that because they look at it as, well, Tasha and Melody are friends and Melody didn't know Kiki. She just came and got Kiki to pull her onto the show against her cousin. It was not like that at all.
Okay.
There had been talks about me coming onto the show even from the first season.
Okay.
But
with Melody, or because obviously you knew Tasha from way longer than Melody.
Yes.
Okay.
But it was with Melody the first season because I declined because there were some things going on with me and my cousin. I didn't want to come on TV making it look like we were against each other.
Okay.
So I said, no, I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna wait until I think, there's a better chemistry between Melody and Tasha, because I don't want to be caught up in the middle of their drama.
Now, the first season, they were okay.
Yeah,
right?
They were.
I'm gonna be honest with you, and I've been honest. I'm honest with everybody I talk to. Right. At first, they were okay.
Yeah.
To me, and you can tell me what you think. The issue with Melody and Letitia is really not about Melody and Letitia. To me, it's about the way Melody handled her husband's indiscretions versus what she feels, how she feels Tasha is handling her marriage, right? And to me, that issue
I don't necessarily even know if the problem was that. I think that at first the problem started out because as Melody was dealing with her issues with her husband, Tasha as a friend couldn't understand to kind of back up and give her that space and don't take it personal when she's not as chummy as she was before.
Right, because that's a lot. We all know Melody went through.
Right.
I'm happy to see her on her way doing amazing now, but her husband acted a fool. So I'm sure that's very painful. And if you haven't been through that before, you really have no concept of what that pain is like.
That's true.
I can't even imagine what it would be like on a national television platform.
Yeah.
On top of that.
Yeah.
So, but it just doesn't seem like the issues really were between the two of them, at least from my perspective.
Yeah, it wasn't at first. And then when the guys kind of butted heads and, all these cheating allegations start being, going back and forth between the guys, then it was like the women kind of got involved,
right?
And things just went downhill from there,
right? Well, I appreciate you clearing up the background on you and Melody. Let's talk about you and Tasha because you guys are cousins, first cousins, correct? You, like I said, the family resemblance is obvious,
right?
What was your relationship like from being little girls? You're older than she is.
No, actually, she's 2 weeks older than I am.
She's 2 weeks. Okay, so
Yeah.
you're around the same age. So
Mhm,
that's
the same age.
We'll call it a wash.
Mhm.
What was your relationship like growing up?
We did not have a relationship when I was growing up, and we kind of get into this on the show a little bit because I was not allowed to be around my father's side of the family when I was growing up. There was this just my grandparents had this, especially my grandfather had this stigma about people from low income housing. And so because my father was from the projects, he would not allow me to go into that environment.
Okay.
So, and he didn't like the fact there was also a lot of tension already because my mom was a teenage mother.
Okay.
And she comes from a very prestigious, strict household. So it's she's not a preacher's daughter, but close enough.
Okay. So so you guys have fathers. How are you all cousins?
My father and her mother are sister brother.
Oh, wow. Okay. So your mother's family had felt some kind of way about your father's family. So that's where the beginning probably of the dynamic started.
Absolutely.
Okay. That gives us a lot of clarity.
Yeah.
Okay. So growing up, you obviously knew of each other because it can't be that big in Huntsville, right?
Well, we're from Bessemer.
Okay.
Which is right outside of Birmingham. So, but it's not a really big city either. So I knew about my dad. I didn't necessarily know about any of my aunts or uncles or my cousins. I knew about one aunt specifically because she used to come and pick me up sometimes.
Okay.
But I didn't really know a lot about the rest of the family until I became a teenager. Okay. Like 13. And when I was 13, I said I wanted to know my family for myself because I always thought about them, wondered about them, And I reached out to my dad and we built a relationship. And I started to have a relationship with Letitia.
Okay. So your dad and her mom, are they pretty close?
They were.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So you guys are teenagers. What is it like when you get to college to where you both are obviously on your own? Because I would assume having a cousin that's 2 weeks, like the same age. And like I said, the family resemblance is clear, you know, both beautiful brown women. I can't imagine that not being a place where it's a person that at least, you should have something in common with, right?
Yeah, and I mean, we did have a lot of things in common, but one thing that we had in common was that we fought a lot.
Okay. What was the fighting for? What was the issue?
Oh my God, it was so many different things. It was Letitia's very sensitive. So she calls you out on she takes to heart every little thing that you do. So for me, it was, stop making problems that aren't there. Stop creating things. If I'm hanging with my friends and she feels like, well, you like your friends better than you like me. And I'm like, no, why? Because I'm hanging with them. That you have friends too. You hang with your friends. How is me hanging with my friends any different?
That is Tasha.
When we would be all together and with her friends, I feel like she treated me different. From her friends. So we argue about that because she didn't put the demands and expectations on everybody else that she did me.
Okay.
So it's just a multitude of teenage issues.
Teenage girls.
Right. So many different issues.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you feel like she wanted you guys to be closer? Was that, do you think, the issue, or do you think it was just a controlling thing? Because it sounds like if she wanted a lot out of you, we saw that, with her and Kimmy, how she, what she wanted the relationship to be like. Do you think it came from a place of her feeling like you guys should have been closer since you were cousins?
You know what? I've never thought about it that way. So I don't know. I've honestly never even considered that aspect.
Okay.
The way that I've always looked at it was just kind of just like charged it up to the game that she was sensitive.
Yeah.
Even when I would go different places and I would introduce my friends and, I say, this is my best friend, this is my best friend, such and such. And I get to her and I say, this is my, my cousin. She get angry. Like, why didn't you introduce me as your best friend? And I'm like, well, I would think that cousin would override best friend. And those are the kinds of issues that we would have because I wasn't that, I would like to say menial, but I can't call it small because you can't necessarily call how somebody else feels, how they feel small. But for me, I just wasn't like that.
How many brothers and sisters do you have?
5 sisters, 2 brothers.
How many does she have?
2 brothers.
Okay, so she was the only girl.
Only girl.
So she probably got a lot more attention. That could explain a little bit of that dynamic. Okay, so as you guys got older, you meet Melody in college. Where is your relationship with Tasha at that point? Are you guys closer in that age range, or
we were close, but we still had a lot of conflict.
Okay.
Always. I mean, I graduated a year before she did. I graduated with the class of 2000. And I came to Alabama A&M here in Huntsville. And she called me when she was getting ready to graduate because she didn't know what she was going to do. And I was like, look, I'm going to fill out an application. You just come here. I knew somebody in housing. So I'm like, we're going to, room together and all this and that. And so I made these plans. She filled out, for scholarships that I told her about. She got, got the scholarships or whatever. And she came to A&M. But, we were suite mates. We weren't roommates.
Okay.
But it was a lot of conflict. And a lot of fighting, still bickering.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
I mean, over things like this, both of us have a lot of clothes. We've both been very fashionable. Always been very fashionable. So, I had overflow where I had to put my extra clothes in my roommate's closet. Well, Tasha had a roommate who didn't have, a lot of clothes either. So she, instead of her putting her clothes in her roommate's closet, she come and put them in my roommate's closet. And I'm like, well, where my clothes supposed to go? Why would you do that? Put them in your own room. So it would be things like that we would argue
Just
about.
little,
that I never
stuff.
could understand. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So Tasha and Marceau met in college, correct?
After they graduated. They worked at it was a call center here.
Okay.
They worked at that call center after they both graduated. That's when they met.
Okay. What were your thoughts about? Were you excited about them as a couple?
Yes.
Initially.
Yeah, I was.
Okay.
Yeah, I was always excited about them as a couple. I never gave any other impression.
So you got along with Marceau
very well at first. Yeah,
at first.
Very well.
Okay.
Yeah,
all right.
He was like a brother to me.
Okay.
At first.
Okay, good. I'm just trying to see how we get to where we are today, because we heard on episode that Marceau said that he and Tasha had done a lot for you early on. And you're saying that that's not true.
Not true at all.
So how did we go from him being like a brother, you guys having a normal cousin, sistery type, dynamic, to it being to where we are today? How did that happen?
Well, as life hit, I had some surgeries and I was prescribed some pain medication. They had me on this pain medication for 2 months straight. And when I started to, when I tried to stop the pain medication, I noticed that my body would have these different reactions. And when I would take something, it'd go away in like 5 minutes. But those, withdrawals got worse and worse. And so I was very young. I was like, maybe early 30s.
Okay.
So I was too nervous to kind of be open and honest with my doctor. Because when I tried to I tell them, hey, I need another prescription. They're like, no, well, you don't need them anymore. And I'm like, okay, so I was kind of, I felt like I was forced to go to the streets to try to find prescription pain medication. I didn't really know anything about it before then. So I did, I started buying prescription pain medication if I couldn't get a prescription for it. And then I just kind of fell into that trap of becoming addicted to.
What was the medications that you were taking?
Percocet.
Okay.
At first it was Percocet, but then it turned into oxycodone, which is higher Percocet.
And there's so many people that have that story. That's nothing to be ashamed of. It's definitely something that a lot of people are dealing with. So when you were going through that transition, did your family know? How did Tasha and Marceau kind of find out that you were struggling?
Not at first. My family didn't know. But one time after Tasha had one of her babies, the second baby, she had been prescribed Percocet. And so I took some of her pills. I didn't take all of them or a whole bunch, but I did take some.
Okay.
And I didn't really think it would be a big problem or she would notice or anything like that. But she did notice. And, so that kind of forced me when she asked me about it, because I was like the only person there that day. So when she asked me about it, I was like, at first I was like, no, I ain't take them, because I was embarrassed. I didn't know what to say. I didn't know whether to just be honest with her. Like, I didn't know what to think. I didn't even really know what was going on myself at that time.
Right.
So I just came clean with her, and I was like, look, this medication is having an effect on me, and I feel like I need them. And she was like, okay, well, what should we do about them? I was like, well, maybe I need to go and talk to somebody about it. And so one day she picked me up and we rode out to Bradford.
Okay.
And we got information, about.
So you trusted her enough. That was good. That you trusted her and she was there for you. That says a lot about you guys' relationship.
She was like the first person I told. I was honest with, I believe.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what was that process like, getting yourself off of that, addiction?
Oh, it was difficult. And it took a couple of tries, because I didn't go to rehab right away when we went the first time. I went a couple of years later,
Did you understand that at that point you were acting as an addict, or you just thought, I just got to stop taking these pills?
That's what I thought. At that point, my mind was not registering addict, because when you think addict, you think, crack cocaine or
it's a picture in your head. Right.
That's what you think hard drug. You don't think medicine that the doctor gave me is turning me into an addict. I had never done any drugs ever.
Yeah.
So for this to be happening, I'm like, I just think that I need this medicine, but it's not registering that this medicine really is a drug.
And this is something I can't stop on my own.
I
need help.
Right.
Okay. So a few tries, it takes a while. Do you feel like Letitia and Marceau and their family were supportive of you in that time period?
You know what? At first I felt that, because like I said, she was the first person I opened up to. And it was a couple of years before I actually went to rehab. And when I went to rehab, she was one of the people who she knew, in my immediate family and my best friends, they all knew, but nobody else. But then when I got out of rehab, I was functioning when I was taking pills. So I was still working every day. I was a mom, I was a wife, people didn't really know. They just knew it was something that just wouldn't.
Something's not quite right.
Something's not quite right with me, because I've always been very sharp, very astute, very, just on my game. So it kind of threw me off my game a little bit. And I thought that I was just operating normally. But people who know you can tell the difference.
Right.
So I thought that, we were here, And then when I leave and I return to work, and I tell you, I'm working with that best friend me and Melody have in common. And one day, this was a couple of years after I got out of rehab. She didn't tell me right away. But it was a couple of years later. She was like, well, Tisha, and Marceau are saying things to them that's making them look at you a different way. And I'm like what? And she told me what. And I was floored. I was extremely hurt. I was extremely angry, because at that time that was really sensitive for me.
So they had shared with people that you were struggling with that addiction.
And I didn't like that. I felt like they should. I never shared her secrets with anyone ever.
And so before we go to break, I just want to make sure that we do acknowledge that she had told you secrets as well.
Wait, she had told my secrets?
No, you had confided in her, and she had confided in you.
Right. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So you guys had that kind of relationship.
We were best friends for years. Although we had a lot of conflict, we still loved each other hard.
Family.
And we were best friends. So I knew all of her dirt. She knew all of mine.
Okay.
But when you start telling my dirt and I'm holding on to yours, it gets to be a little bit different, especially if you're telling it to make people view me a certain way.
Right. Well, especially if you're telling it, I don't know that you're telling my business. Okay. Well, we're going to take a break, and we're going to come back, and we're going to talk a little bit more. At least that it kind of explains how we got to the point of there being betrayal, on your part. So we come back, we're going to find out what happened after that. And, of course, once Kiki was added to Love and Marriage Huntsville, and how we got to the drink being thrown across the table. You guys stay right here. This is Rolling Out, an exclusive here in Huntsville, Alabama, talking with Kiki from Love and Marriage Huntsville. We'll be right back.
She was so pretty in this interview. Whoever did her makeup really did a great job. Like, everything looked good. Kiki looked so beautiful, and she's so transparent. I like that about her. I don't like the way Tisha kind of flipped on her after they've been so close all those years and then started just telling her stuff. It's giving that maybe there was some jealousy in there, and she was trying to make Keke feel bad about herself and to feel bad, period, because she started seeing Keke start to blossom into, you know, kind of get into doing other things. Even though she had the addiction on the side, Tasha used her addiction to try to hold that against her and to embarrass her when she had her own skeletons in her closet that she was hiding and did not want to talk about.
I'm interested in trying these new weight loss shots, but I need it to be more affordable because
I keep saying Marceau. I keep saying that Marceau is the nucleus in, or was the nucleus in Keke and Tasha's relationship. Had he stayed out of the middle, I feel like the two of them could have hashed out their issues and what they were going through, and they would have been okay before Keke passed away. I really feel like had Marceau stayed out of the mess, Marceau kept the mess going between them. And even when Tasha and Keke tried to get together and apologize to one another and make it right, Marceau always got in the middle because it was like he wanted them to be at odds, because maybe he felt like, you know, it was serving him more to see her hurt because she revealed the fact that he was being unfaithful. And he was being unfaithful, but bottom line is he was the person who was staying in the middle of Tasha and Keke not fixing their issues. And it's a shame. They look alike. They grew up together 2 weeks apart. Like, damn, they were almost twins, damn near. So it's sad to see that they weren't able to fix that issue. Let's get back into the interview.
All right, we're back talking with Keke. And first of all, I just want to thank you for your honesty about your addiction, because I feel like there are so many people that are dealing with that, especially a different form of addiction. It doesn't look like the addiction that we think of when we think of addiction. You think of someone struggling with heroin or cocaine or crack, not pills, like you said that your doctors prescribed you for something that was very realistic, right? So at the point that you learned that your cousin and her husband at that point have been sharing your business to others, you obviously feel betrayed. Did you share that with Melody before coming onto the show?
I did. We had talked about it.
Okay.
I didn't until much later. It might have been a couple of years after I actually found out that they had done that.
Okay.
I was too ashamed to even talk to Melody. I didn't want anybody at that time. I was so embarrassed. I didn't want anybody to know because, you know, everybody was just like, Keke, you know, on it doesn't add up. The picture doesn't even equate, you know? So I was too busy just trying to erase it out of my life and move forward with, you know, my kids. You know, I got pregnant a couple of more times and, you know, had my babies, and, you know, my oldest son was involved in sports. So I just tried to bury it and keep working and try to stay sober. That's what I, you know, attempted to do. So a couple of years later, this is right before the show, or right after, one or the other. Melody and I had an event together. Okay. And it was for the English department. And we were both speakers at that event. After the event, that's when she and Tasha started having problems. Me and Tasha were having problems at that time too. So after that event, we just kind of stayed and talked for a while because we were both frustrated with what was going on with
and this was not on the show. Okay.
No, that wasn't on the show. And so that's the first time we actually talked about it, because I wanted to ask her about it, but I just couldn't. I couldn't. That was the first time I actually had the courage to ask her about it. Because I'd grown older, so I started becoming a little bit more bold and, you know, accepting the things that, you know, had happened.
You mentioned that you kept Tasha's secrets, but she had not kept yours. So obviously a big issue with the show is infidelity and the marriage, right? We know that the first season, Melody's, you know, marriage, we saw it go through a horrible breakdown because of Martell's infidelities. Had Tasha confided in you about her marriage with Marceau?
I mean, we had talked about marriage a million times since we had been married, you know, so she confided in me about everything dealing with marriage from cleaning up, you know,
getting on her nerves,
any little thing, you know, we discussed and we talked about. So yeah, she confided in me as well as I confided in her. Absolutely.
Okay. So at the time that you and Melody kind of reconnect, start getting closer, I guess
To get started in data analytics, you don't need previous experience or a degree. The Google Data Analytics Certificate.
We're back.
For the viewers, even if family, if you're having an issue with family, it feels awkward to see someone allow someone who was not family to be a part of family disagreements. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So it's like if my cousin and I've got a cousin named Kay. If Kay and I get into it, for me to bring somebody else in and let them and talk about my cousin to them, it just feels different.
I get that.
You get that?
Most definitely.
Okay. So did you feel like, man, maybe I shouldn't be telling Melody how I feel about, maybe Melody and I should not be talking about my cousin because it's bringing an insider. Okay. You didn't feel that way.
Because I felt completely betrayed. And don't get me wrong, that's not the only thing they told him. They told him other things too.
Right.
You know, that's just one of the things that they told them.
So you found out that she basically had betrayed your trust on a number of things.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. That's just one of the.
I feel like Tisha was jealous that Kiki was coming on the show and that Kiki was going to outshine her. Tisha is very jealous natured, just like Wanda. And she has a lot of her mama in her. And I feel like Tisha's always been jealous of Kiki. Kiki seemed to be a lot more smarter than Tisha. The two of them look alike, so I can't say that Kiki was much more beautiful than Tisha because they look so much alike. But I feel like the connections and the education and stuff that Kiki had, and just the fact that people like Kiki, her reputation and just the way she was, I feel like Tisha was very jealous of that because Kiki was more outspoken and more outward, and Tisha was more reserved and kind of scared to kind of, first speak because she didn't have great speech. Kiki speaks so eloquently and she's a professor. So people kind of viewed her differently than they saw Tisha. Let's get into it.
Things, but yeah.
Had you talked to Tisha about that before the show and just let her know that you were hurt?
I did.
And what was her response?
Her response was, well, it didn't happen the way that Melody told you it happened, because I heard that, Marcel was the main culprit, just kind of telling about it and laughing and joking about it, which he just did again. But when I confronted her about that, I'm like, I hear this is the scenario. And she's like, no, it didn't happen like that. Marcel felt like we should have told them, because I was invited over for Christmas. But that August, I had gone to rehab earlier that year. I had gotten out in August. So at this time, December comes, I'm clean. It's actually the beginning of sobriety for me.
Right.
And I hear that right before I come to celebrate Christmas, because it was at Melody's. So I hear right before I come to celebrate Christmas with them, they are discussing me and my personal business and laughing about it. So my thing was, if she didn't think about family then, why am I thinking of, she discussed it with her first. So why am I thinking about family when I'm discussing what you told her about me?
That makes sense.
No, I wanted confirmation. I wanted details. I wanted to know what was said and, in what manner and who was there, who heard it, how long before I came. I wanted details.
Yeah,
because I was hurt.
Because you were hurt. That makes sense. Let's fast forward, because that gives us some context, right, to all this. So obviously, last week's episode with you guys, the relationship continues to just deteriorate between you and Tisha. It was very difficult to see you throw water on her when she hadn't necessarily done anything, except she did ignore you, but that's not confrontational. What had happened? Because obviously there's things that have happened off camera. What got you to the place that you would lash out like that at Tisha?
Number one, it's a buildup from things over the years. I told you she'll confront me about every little thing. Well, I let so much go with her, because number one, I'm not a crybaby like that. I just rather let it go to avoid the drama. So I think those things, and that's not necessarily healthy, because I think those things had built up in me. And two, she had blame me for the situation that was going on, the rumor that was going around. And that's why she ignored me. And I'm more enraged by that than anything.
So the rumor that was going around is that her husband had another rumor. There's been a few rumors like that.
Yeah.
But this is alleged. We don't know. But the rumor that was going around now, there was a lot bleeped out. But it sounded like you had information or someone else was talking, right? And you would talk to someone else. So you were saying the rumor didn't come from you. You were trying to find out for her.
This is the thing. Tisha approached me with this rumor.
Okay.
She approached me and she was like, hey, this rumor is going around and I hear it's coming from your people. And I'm like, my people?
So we just for the audience, the rumor was going around that Marceau had a threesome.
He had an affair with her makeup artist.
Yeah. Okay. So there's several alleged rumors, I guess. Yeah. I heard a rumor of a threesome. Now a rumor with a makeup artist.
And that's the threesome is supposedly
with the makeup artist. And
Yeah.
she thought you were responsible for starting the rumor or spreading the rumor.
Well, no, I don't think she thought I was responsible for starting the rumor because she came to me with the rumor. But when she came to me with it, she told me that my makeup artist was responsible for starting it. And I said, no, it was a different. Yeah. So I was like, okay, well, you know what? Let me talk to her.
This is crazy that we keep hearing about all these threesomes and all of that. And then to hear that he is still on Instagram, allegedly still soliciting threesomes. So this can't be just a rumor, I'm guessing. This might be some truth to it. And maybe Tisha knows about it, but doesn't want it to get out. And she's allowing him to cheat in peace. And Keke knew about it. And she wanted Keke to be quiet about it because Tisha has this persona where she wants everybody to think she has this perfect marriage. And the fact that Keke was coming aboard on this show, it was going to have all of their damn skeletons out to where Tisha could not be this perfect individual no more because she knows that Keke was going to air her out. So that's why they put that whole drug thing out there to get ahead of their own stuff getting out, to make Keke look bad and shut her up and shut her down and embarrass her so that their shit wouldn't come out.
Let me get to the bottom of it and I'm going to get back with you and I'll let you know what comes of it.
Okay. Now, is this the young lady that was on the video?
Yes.
The video with you, Bree.
With
the video
Bree.
Okay, Bree. So that was, she said that she heard Bree started the rumor.
Yes.
Which would connect it to you.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
And so I'm like, let's dispel this right away. Let's put this to rest because we just got back in a good place. I don't want anybody thinking anything like that is coming from my people. So let's go on and get to the bottom of this and put this fire out. I don't even want it to grow. Okay. That was my intention.
Now, when you came to the barbecue, you seemed upset already. Did you?
No, I was not upset.
You were ready. So I guess I'm asking that because why would you because to have the conversation with Stormy in front of the cameras, you know that's going to be embarrassing. I know her and Marceau don't want that information probably out to us. They're probably trying to get rid of it without sharing it in front of the camera. So why did you decide to confront her right there at the barbecue?
Because they had started blaming me for it. Okay. And don't go around blaming me for things that are not my fault. That's why she didn't speak, because she had started believing and telling people that I was responsible for spreading this rumor. And I'm like, you've got to be kidding me. At that time, before she started blaming me, I had not spoken with anybody besides my makeup artist and the barber guy, about the allegations.
Nobody else. Where did the rumor come from? Do you know where
it came from? Him,
the barber guy.
My makeup artist. When I confronted her, she was like, "Look, tonight I'm gonna call you and I'll tell you where this comes from. Okay. I know this guy, but this is not my rumor. I don't have nothing to do with this." So she called me later on that night and on the phone with this guy. She called me on
because he says he did not start the rumor, that didn't come from him.
Okay, well, he's on video saying it.
Okay. So
my friend used to pay $163 for car insurance.
Today. He is on video.
Now look how much he pays.
I know that's right.
So your makeup artist heard it and brought it to you.
And that's another thing. They had gone to production with it. You can't go to production with this if you don't want it shown. The production, they knew about it. You know, so they were, my makeup artist was like, they trying to get me fired because they saying that I'm responsible for starting this rumor. That's another reason why I wanted to see what was going on because I didn't know. I had no idea what was going on. You know, so when I when she called me that night on three-way with this guy, I talked to him and I'm like, look, I don't want to, you know, I'm not hitting you up for information to try to, you know, blackmail anybody or hurt anybody. I just want to know what's going on so that I can clear my makeup artist name and we don't have anything to do with this. I don't want to be involved. And he starts telling us everything that's going on. And, you know, he is the one who tells us that there was a threesome. You know, he divulges all this information and the names and everything else to go along with it. I wouldn't know any of these names otherwise. I wouldn't know anything about the threesome otherwise. You know, if I wanted to just make that up, I could have been made that up and said it. This came from him, you know? So the next day after I talked to him, I called Tasha the very next morning. And I said, you know, we were both busy that day. I said, what are you doing tomorrow? She said, I have nothing to do tomorrow. I'm completely free. I said, I want you to come by. I want to talk to you about something. And she was like, okay, you know, I'll come by, blah, blah, blah. And we hung up. And the next day she just didn't show. So I didn't know what that was about, but I texted her like, hey, you know, maybe you were busy. You could have hit me up or something, let me know. But I think maybe somebody had gotten to her beforehand. And so then a couple of weeks later, she calls me and she's like, hey, why are you calling around asking people about me and Marcel's marriage? So I'm taken aback. I'm like, because I know I have not done that. You know, of course, I had this conversation with this guy about what had been brought to me. But I'm not just calling people like, hey, what you know about Marcel? You know, you got any dirt? Nothing like that. You know, so I'm like, the way she come at me, number one, I'm like, girl, what? So I was defensive. And I was like, number one, she was like, if you had this conversation with him, why wouldn't you call me and tell me? I said, well, I called you the very next morning and I asked you to come over because I wanted to tell her face to face. I wanted to tell her face to face. I wanted to let her listen to some things, some recordings, because honestly, I didn't believe this guy. He sounded like he was lying to me because he flip-flopped several times on the call. He said it, then he was like, never mind, I just made it all up. I'm just lying, you know. And so my makeup artist is like, well, are you saying this because you have because we learned that he has a contract with Marcel and they're building his barbershop. So my makeup artist seems to believe that he's flipping because of that. And I'm thinking this guy full of it. You know, and that's what I'm going to report back to her the next day. Like, look, y'all need to start working with this dude. This is what he's saying. This is where this rumor is coming from. And I believe he's a liar. Steer clear of him. That's all I wanted to tell her. And she started going around telling people that I'm responsible. This guy called her and let her listen to a part of the conversation because he recorded it where he's saying, no, you know, it didn't happen. It didn't happen. Where he said, because I told you he flip-flops. So to make her think that I'm calling, just trying to force him
to say something.
Yeah, to say something that wasn't the case.
Everybody is recording calls, and this is all very just it's a little confusing because his story obviously is different than your story.
Of course.
But from your perspective, your cousin, that's obviously a very hurtful situation.
Absolutely.
So you hear that she's blaming you for this.
Yeah.
So then you come to the picnic. And what is your intention when you first come? Because you try to speak to her.
Yes.
She doesn't speak. She keeps playing cards. And then you seem to get really upset at the fact that
she got up and kind of, when I went to hug her, she got up and
went to see Maurice. Right.
And I thought, and then right before that, or right after that one, she spoke to my husband, all nice and, you know, sweet. I felt very disrespected. And one thing, I just don't tolerate disrespect, Will. I don't. And she knows that also. It might seem, you know, simple to some people. Like I said, menial to some people. Like to me, some things other people feel seem menial. But she knows that for me, ignoring me is one of my triggers. Don't do that. With my husband, when he ignores me, it gets deeper. You know? because he often does that, and she knows that. She knows that's when I go to 10.
You guys know each other really well, so you know how to get on each other's nerves.
Exactly.
So is there something that we didn't see? Because we see that happening, and then we see you talking to Stormy about the situation. That's obviously got to embarrass her. What's crazy is that
Stormy already knew.
Okay, so Stormy did, because Stormy acted like she did not know.
Well, I think Stormy was just shocked.
That it was
think
coming
she
up at the
wanted
table.
to be in the middle of it, you know. And I would not have brought that up if had, you know, I not been very angry at that time, but I was very angry.
Yeah.
And when I am in that mode of anger, it's just difficult
to back down.
It
to
is.
pull it back.
Yeah, it's difficult. I just become I don't care.
Do you, looking back, did you feel like you went too far with the drink?
Oh yeah, most definitely. I you know,
because Tisha seems very non-confrontational for somebody that like most people, you throw a drink at them, they coming back at you.
Right.
And some people are like, she probably wouldn't have thrown a drink at her if she knew Tisha was the type that would come back.
There's never been a time that I did something to Tisha that she didn't come back. That was the first time.
Okay.
And only time.
Okay.
First and only, you know, and we even say this in the show, we have had more physical altercations than we have with anybody else. We have fought many times, right?
Family, so that's fun. I know
we have gotten right.
Sisters, cousins, you know, girl on girl, it's a whole different type of energy.
Yeah.
Because this obviously was taped a long time ago. This came out on television the last couple of weeks. Where are you guys at now? Because that's a really hurtful, it's unfortunate, but it also is a really hurtful rumor, right? And embarrassing.
Yeah.
And we know that Tisha has been dealing with people trying to prove that Marcel probably has not helped the situation by being a bit of a smart ass.
Right.
But, you know, there's been alleged accusations of Marcel for a long time that has to be hurtful to anybody.
I agree.
So where are you?
I'm
guys
a woman.
and you're married. You've been
right,
married
and
a
I'm
long time,
married. So I would never put anybody else's marriage on Front Street or interfere in anybody else's marriage. And my thing, that's another reason why I was ticked.
Yeah,
because I'm like, you should know me better than that.
But I wouldn't do that.
Than to put that on me in front of a lot of people. You gonna put that on me when you know you've never seen me act in that manner.
Yeah.
You've never seen any kind of behavior like that from me. You should know that you should have known when this guy came to you telling these lies, you should have known that they were lies, and you should have heard me out instead of never even listening to my side in the first place.
Right. But you guys have a history of it being kind of rocky, right?
Of it being rocky, but not
to
just
that extent.
Blaming each other for and not even explaining or allowing the other person to you know, say their piece. Not that kind of history.
Do you think that, I'm just gonna ask you just a blunt question. Do you feel like, because this is a alleged rumor, do you feel like Marcel has put Tisha in a bad position?
It's difficult for me to say that. I can't necessarily say that I feel like he's put her in a bad position because and see, that's the thing. I'm not against a marriage. If that's what they want to work on together, they might have an understanding that nobody else knows about. If you like it, I love it. Who am I to try to?
Well, but that's one thing. But if the husband, if you're on a national TV show, I will say this: Martell put Melody in a horrible position.
Yes,
because you're on a national television show. Regardless,
but there was no understanding with him, and she actually caught him, you know, in the act, really, of cheating.
So you're saying that if allegedly something has happened, perhaps Tisha and Marcel have an understanding.
Maybe. Because, you know, so many things have come out and, you know, she's debunked every last one of them, you know. So I just think that she believes her husband at the end of the day. And I personally don't think it's anything wrong with that.
I don't think it's anything wrong with that. If that's what you choose.
If that's what you choose.
You can do whatever. That's their marriage.
Right.
That's their marriage. And I think, I really, just honestly, like, as someone that watches the show, I've interviewed, you know, at this point, the only person we haven't interviewed is Tiffany and Lewis. No one likes to see marriages destroyed.
Right.
You know, the show is.
I think, let me say this, guys, I had to keep pausing. I think whenever Tisha and them visited their family down in Bessemer, y'all remember where Wanda was doing them stupid ass potatoes. And Kiki and Marceau and Tisha and them had that little knockdown, drag out argument where Marceau jumped up and was doing the whole don't you do it, where Kiki was threatening to tell something. I think that's when Marceau and Tisha got scared that their business was getting ready to be put out there after they had already been going around talking about Kiki and telling her business, not realizing, hey, I'm about to give you the same thing that you were doing to me. You can't tell my shit and expect me to sit on yours. So I feel like once they got into that argument and they realized that Kiki was going to be on demon time to expose them like they were doing her, I think they got scared and ran to production to try to get ahead of the story, and then was letting production know, hey, she got to go because she's causing issues. Like, she don't need to be on the show. I think that they brought up her drug issue to make it look worse than it was. Okay, that's what I feel like, because the girl even went to her doctor and got documentation showing that she was only on methadone, and even they carried it over to the reunion, Marceau especially, to try to make it seem like Kiki was still doing these drugs, even so to where Carlos King was believing the shit, and he grilled her and kept asking her, are you sure that you're not? And it was all coming from Marceau and Tisha. I didn't think that was fair, but let's
continue. About Black professionals. Obviously, we like a little bit of the juice, but I even was rooting for Melanie and Martell until Martell made it painfully clear that we could no longer root for him. You know what I mean? And Melanie, and we're happy to see her, but no one wants to see that happen.
And that's another, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
That's another thing that really agitated me. Is that when I came onto the show, you know that I wasn't coming onto the show to try to go against you, but you put that narrative out there.
Let me ask you this. Because a lot of people feel like, I'm sure you see the comments, a lot of people feel like Melody has positioned you kind of as her pawn against in her disconnect with Tisha.
They can feel that way. However, when Melody turned to me, and she said, you know, she asked me whatever question it was. I can't remember what it was verbatim at the Christmas party. I think she said something like, well, you know, you her cousin. Has she ever talked to you about infidelity or something like that? And I'm like, well, I tried my best to give a general answer, you know. So I'm like, well, of course we've talked about, you know, marriage before, you know, of course. But yes, she has heard rumors. However, she has not found any of them to be true.
Right.
That's what I said.
Well, they probably edited that last part.
No, they didn't. It's there.
It's there.
It's
there. What people heard is
right.
Yes, she has talked to me about it,
and that's different from what I said.
Right.
So then people went back telling her, "Well, Kiki said that you said that you talked to her about Marceau cheating before." I never said that.
Yeah.
I said we've had many different discussions about marriage, and yes, she's heard rumors before. Who hasn't heard rumors before?
True.
But she has not found any of them to be true.
Right.
I don't feel like that statement warranted her saying and putting out that I was coming against their marriage.
Could you see that if I would just say this, and I think Kimmy is pretty rational to everybody. I think on the show, I said that to her. Just the fact that it was a conversation about Tisha with people that don't like Tisha and her cousin, because regardless, you guys are family. So you can have this conversation with me, you can have a conversation with Melody, but at the end of the day, you guys are blood. So anybody else, you guys can go back and forth, and there's still an opportunity for reconciliation in a different way because you're blood.
Now, I would normally feel that way, yes.
Okay.
But how can I feel that way against a person that you dog me out to? How?
And I guess we don't see her dogging you out.
Right. How do I make that stance?
Yeah,
and she is the one who came back to let me know what people close to me were saying about me. So how do I do that?
So now, where you were, because like I said, this happened a long time ago. Time heals a lot of wounds. Right?
Yeah.
So
supposedly,
it is almost Halloween.
Right.
Halloween tomorrow.
It is.
Where are you guys at now?
We are in a non-communicative state, and I think that it's best that we remain that way, at least for a while, a good while. We need time apart.
Do you feel like, especially with now in that scene, you threw the water on her. Marceau made the joke about you possibly being on drugs,
right?
which would be extremely hurtful considering what just period. That's a hurtful thing to say. But
I'm used to it now from them.
But do you think that was him responding to you throwing water in his wife's face?
Yes and no, because he could say that whether it doesn't matter whether I throw water in his wife's face or not. He said that before, and I had not done that.
So you feel like they just really don't have respect for you for what you've been through.
I expect that to be said.
Okay.
And I expect her to not check him when he says it. Yeah.
Does she check him when he says anything?
Sometimes.
Okay. Because fans have said this about Tisha. She's non-confrontational, seems that way to us. Her mom says things that are very disrespectful at times.
Right.
But it's hard to check your mom.
Yeah.
But still, especially when your mom is talking about your husband, most people will step in and say. So we kind of see Tisha just not necessarily holding Marceau accountable, especially this season, or her mother accountable. So is that just kind of her MO? Can you see that from her being that's just kind of who she is? Or do you think that it's specifically when it comes to you that she's not protective?
Exactly. She won't hold them accountable, but she'll hold every word I say accountable. She'll make me account for every last word I say, action I make, thing I do, way I breathe.
Do you feel like at all Melody has taken advantage of the situation with you guys you and Tisha being at odds? Do you feel like that there's been any manipulation on her part to kind of dig for information about Tisha? Because that question in itself
I feel like that's what I was about to say. When you're in a spot like that on reality television, you have to play the game.
Yeah.
You have to.
She plays the game well.
Of course, you have to.
Plays the game well.
This is your adversary.
Yes.
If you see an opening or a way to get a shot in, you're gonna take it.
Absolutely.
And that's just about anybody.
Right. Yeah. I can't hate on that. She plays the game well.
Yeah.
She plays the game well. What about the other ladies? Tisha and Stormy were not in a good place, really, because of Marceau. A lot of things are happening this season, and most of it have more to do with Marceau than Tisha. Even with Felicia and her, like this, just a lot of issues around Marceau. It feels like the first couple of seasons, Martell was the bad guy. It seems like Marceau is the bad guy. Marceau is now, and I think that's reality TV. That it's just the nature of the beast.
That's the way the pendulum swings.
It's the way the pendulum swings. Do you think it's fair?
Paying your bills on time raises your credit score, right?
Okay.
Wrong. In fact, this is one of the...
Do you think it's just his turn?
You know what? There are no rules in reality TV. I've always wanted to do TV. I never quite thought that I'd be doing reality TV though, So I thought long and hard about this before I decided to do it, because I know that reality TV comes with a certain set of, non-negotiables, so to speak. And if you have to go there, then people see you go there.
Right.
And you get a lot of backlash for that. I wasn't really interested in, mess or tearing down. I really was more interested in building up. But I took the opportunity, because I thought that I thought I was entering at a good time where Tisha and Melody had made amends at the reunion.
It seemed that way.
But
when Tisha says something like you have a dark soul or something like, I knew they weren't going to be able to ever be back like it was.
Right. Well, that was last year. That was before. That was after I came up.
Right.
But before that
it was
reunion.
before you. Yeah. The reunion before.
Yes. It was like
the last reunion. It was like, this ain't going to come back.
It was like, we're going to move forward.
Right.
We're going to, let this go. And I was like, finally, because I'm in this mess behind the scenes already.
Yeah.
Because of what's been said about me and, and me talking
just a relationship
to all of them.
and understand that you did have a realistic, legitimate relationship with Melody.
Yeah.
It wasn't just created to get back at Tisha, which I think a lot of people thought. We're going to take another break and we're going to come back with our conclusion to this conversation with Keke. I want to hear just about what you have going on.
Okay.
Some of the things that you've been dealing with and then what's next.
Okay.
For the rest of this season, we've barely gotten into this season and we are already in a place of water being shaking the table. So we're going to come back and conclude the conversation with Keke. Stay right there. All right, and we're back concluding this conversation with Keke. Now, before we get all the way out of Love and Marriage Huntsville, we got to ask you about this Crime Stoppers video.
Yes.
This season, I mean, you are shaking the table and all kinds of stuff is going on. I do want to say the last episode, they did say that no charges had come out of that video.
And they won't.
Do you want to clear that up for everybody?
You know what? I have counsel, and my counsel they have advised me to not comment on this topic. But I'm so ready for people to know what really happened that it's hard for me to hold back. So I will say this: I will be fully vindicated.
Okay,
I will be.
How did that feel watching that on television?
Of course, I was frustrated. I was heated. I was angry, especially because I know I had not done what they accused me of doing.
Okay.
None of it. Not even hitting cars, leaving out of the parking lot. So I was backing out of the parking space. But okay, that's how y'all want to play it? Cool. I passed it on to my counsel, and I'll let them tell me what to do. So
okay, we'll follow back up with you when you can talk to us a little bit more about that. The rest of the season, what do you look? I mean, because this season started off with you in a hard place. We see you going through a lot. You having health issues.
Yes.
How are you? You look amazing now.
Thank
so it looks
you.
like you're in better spirits. Everything is in a better place now.
You know what? As far as the health issues, I have not been sick now in about, I would say, maybe a month now. And that's great because when I got sick, I was really, really very sick, and it was just difficult to go through that. So I don't know still yet what was causing that, but I do have appointment with specialists set up to try to figure out what it was that was causing me to have those episodes.
Was it like flu-like symptoms or?
No, it wasn't flu-like symptoms. What it was is it felt like a stomach virus one because I couldn't keep anything down all day. I was just, even if I didn't have anything, and there was something with my muscles in my neck, my shoulders, in my back, and all down my arms. I don't know what it was, but it's like they would ache really terribly. And no matter how I moved or stood up or laid down, I couldn't get relief, but it was a lot of pain. And it's funny, some people say, she was probably trying to get pain medicine. No, because that was honestly, pain medicine was the last thing on my mind when I was going through that. It was like, please make it stop. Please figure out what's going on, because I was in some serious, I've never felt anything like that before. So I don't know what it is. I really don't.
Well, we hope you find that out. Do you have any words of encouragement? Because your story is admirable to be able to overcome addiction. And we know that there's so many people that are struggling with that don't feel comfortable talking about it. Can you offer any words of encouragement?
I can say that for anybody out there who might be struggling with addiction, know that you are not alone. You do not have to be ashamed. There are people out here who have been through the same thing that you have gone through, people who understand, people who can empathize with you. But there are also people who can help you. And when you are ready, you can pick up the phone or go to your nearest treatment center at any time and be willing to get the help that you need. And when you do that, life just gets so much better. I wish that I would have made the decision to be honest and clean myself up years before I actually finally got clean, because now I'm really experiencing what it's like to wake up every day naturally happy and joyful from a natural high. And it just feels so much better than being, depressed every day. Absolutely. So that's what I would say is just, pray your way through it and seek help, because Lord knows I had to pray my way through it.
And it's better on the other side.
Absolutely.
It's better on the other
side.
It's
definitely dark, but it can get better.
It can get better. Well,
yes.
Keke, I want to thank you for, again, inviting us into your home.
Thank
being
you.
So candid. We hope that you will continue to, shine bright. And I hope that you and your cousin can one day get your issues together and be able to at least be family again, because family is really important. But thank you so much. Thank you guys for watching, and we'll be back with more from this interview on rollingout.com.
Sadly, they did not get their issues together. They did not get to talk about and or fix their situations. As you guys know, that a week and a half before we found out that Keke passed away, Tasha did an interview with Dustin Ross where she was saying that Keke was dead to her. And then to find out that she actually passed away, then Tasha was saying she was guilty. How is it that you love your family and you can't, talk to your family? Something to that tune, to where she was feeling guilty for not being able to talk to her cousin when you guys weren't speaking at all. According to Keke, she said that they weren't speaking at all, they were not communicating at all. So I feel like I said, and I stand on it, I feel like had Marceau stayed out of the middle of it, I think that Tasha could have come together and had a conversation with Keke and they could have squashed it, because I feel like Tasha wanted to, but I feel like every time she wanted to go and do it, she would always probably tell Marceau, and he would always throw something in there to make her feel like, no, don't do it. Like, don't go and talk to her because she's just going to go and tell our business, something like that. Because Marceau is real manipulative in how he handles Tasha, and he's able to say things to Tasha in a way to where she believes whatever he says, even though it don't make sense. But I feel like he never wanted Keke and Tasha to get along and be close, because he's jealous of that. He's jealous of anybody getting close to Tasha because he knows that he can't control her. Just like he didn't want Mel coming around to take Tasha out to, different places to show her how to get back into the workforce and stuff like that. He didn't like that. He didn't want Mel coming around and doing that because he was feeling like, hey, I can't manipulate her if you're in the way. And just like he didn't want Keke being around, it was the same thing. So Marceau has this very manipulative control over Tasha. And I don't care what nobody says. I see it. Everybody else watching see it. And I don't have to know a person personally to know that that's what's going on here. But sadly, they did not fix things prior to Keke's death, and she's not here anymore. Prayers to whoever is involved. I hope Tasha can find some resolve in all of this and fix this issue, because baby. All right. For those of you just joining, I'll go ahead and share again the pictures that I have from the funeral, and then we're going to get out of here. Again, rest in peace to Kiki Jabar. And love and hugs to her family, her children, her husband, and all of that. KBR adding up in there per usual. All right, so this is the program, you guys. This is the program. Let's let it catch up, because y'all know StreamYard has like a little delay. So this is the program from Kiki's funeral today, okay? They had her funeral today, her celebration of life. Let's see. That is her beautiful purple casket, the beautiful flowers. That's the family. As you guys can see, they had a huge turnout there, okay? Last picture is when they get ready to lower the body into the ground. And there's the beautiful flowers again. And all of the family, as you guys can see, everyone was dressed in all purple. So that is it, and that is all. Again, rest in peace to Kiki Jabar, honey. You will be missed. Kiki was the life of the party. I ain't gonna lie. Kiki was the damn life of the party. She was crazy as hell. I think everybody will remember the drink. Well, hit. We ain't gonna call it toss, because she didn't toss it when she slapped the drink in Tasha's face. I think that's gonna be the most memorable moment. And get mad, scratch your ass, I don't give a damn comment. That shit was funny as well. It's a lot of stuff that Kiki said and did on the show that's going to be memorable. But again, rest in peace to her. You guys continue to keep her family lifted up in prayer as they still deal with it. Even though she's in the ground today, they buried her today, the pain still is there. Y'all know if you've ever lost a loved one, it don't go away because you have a funeral for your loved one. So also, I want to remind you guys that they have put together a cash app for Kiki's immediate family, her husband and her children. You guys can reach out to When Tay Talks, because I think she is superheading that. And also you can reach out to Make It Make Sense, because I was watching their video and they kind of put that together. Make It Make Sense. He puts, I think it's $200 towards it for Kiki and her children, and other people were giving and donating as well. So if you would like to give to the cash app for Kiki's children, reach out to When Tay Talks, and you can do that there, okay? Can I get one of my mods to drop the link, because I think you guys did it this morning. There you go. KBR dropped it. So it's $ When Tay Talks, okay? If you guys want to send a cash app for Kiki's children and her husband, Ameem, okay? She has 3 children and she has her husband. So if you guys want to give and donate to that, it is $ When Tay, and that's TAY Talks, okay? So there you go. That is our show for the night. I hope you guys enjoyed. Let me go ahead and thank my content creators that usually be in my chat. Just the T, please. Thank you so much. Girlfriend Chronicles, Aries Girl Podcast, Truth TV Podcast, Purple Unicorn, Chronicles of Kim K, and Dear Reed Talk. Those are my usuals that are here. If there's any more, I'll be glad to shout you out. Just let me know you're here, okay? Also, shout out to my mods for doing such an awesome job. Thank you, Tyra. Thank you, KBR. And thank you, Linda Gamble, okay? You guys are awesome. Thank y'all so much for doing such an awesome job of keeping the trolling down. Okay, I thought we had a troll situation earlier. I kept watching. I said, nah, they got it. I ain't even gonna get in the middle. So you guys did an awesome job of handling that. I just kind of let y'all kind of hash it out. I saw the conversation back and forth, but thank you guys. Okay, it was yeah. I try not to be getting into it because I know y'all got it. But let's get out of here, okay? Y'all have a great night. Tomorrow is Tuesday. We will have Car Chronicles. I will see you guys then, okay? Love you guys down. Let's get some music. And you guys have a wonderful night, okay? Bye.